So hello again. I'm outside. It's evening. I almost didn't do this because I was like tired and everything. But so for part of I'll get to the October vlog challenge here in a second. Update: probably get our power turned off around 2 on Wednesday. And not sure how long it'll be out. At least 24 hours, probably, maybe longer. Because after the winds die down, then they have to inspect the lines and make sure there's no damage and it's safe to turn the power back on. And I don't know what's with the frickin' truck. That was a big fucking truck. Anyway, so for today's vlog challenge, the 22nd day, it was stones and crystals. And I'm not going to show you my crystal collection. Maybe someday I'll show it. But some things about crystals, picking out crystals and all that kind of stuff. If you're very new and you want to work with crystals, you know, one of the safe bets is always quartz crystal, because it's kind of like it can do anything. I mean, you can charge it and have it do any thing you really want. And then, maybe amethyst is a real popular one that people get because it is readily available, and it does work with divination and psychic abilities. I mean, you can always look up and try and find specific crystals. That's kind of a pain in the ass, actually. But when picking a crystal, like I've picked crystals out from the local stores and stuff, and I'm not very good. I mean, some people are very sensitive to the energies that come off crystals, and I am not. And so whatever I gravitate, I'm sorry, I have like a hair on my face. Whatever crystal I'm drawn to is the one I will choose. And it's funny, sometimes you'll see a crystal and you'll think about it and you'll get it, and maybe you get it home and you look it up and you find that it's something you really do need in your life at this moment. But with that said, don't think you just have to get real crystals, because you can do so much more with crystals and stones. There's color magic. See, that's what I'm saying. That's a big ass truck. Anyway, I don't think that's UPS at this hour. It's like 8 o'clock. Color magic is a really big one. So, you can have crystals or stones of different colors depending on the magic you're trying to do. My brother has been looking on eBay, of all places, for crystal clusters, and a lot of them are synthetic, and they've been grown in labs. They're from, I think a lot of them are from Poland. They're beautiful, the color's beautiful, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, well, of course you can still use those. They're probably quartz based, for one, and quartz is kind of like can do just about anything, but you can also use the color association in your practice. So there's always that. So don't ever think, oh, it's not the real thing. It's like, once you charge something, it's the real deal. I mean, it's not like it's an amethyst but if you want it to have those qualities of an amethyst, you can charge, like I said, a quartz crystal, or you can charge any stone. And that's another thing too. It's just like, if you are drawn to a stone that you find out on a walk, or when you're at the river or at the ocean, you can use that, of course, in your magical practices. It can either have the associations to you that of where you found it. So if you find it at the beach, you can associate that with water and with the ocean and with those energies, of course. If you find something like way out in the middle of a forest, you can think of that more like along the terms of the earthly realm. So, I mean, it's really whatever it is you really kind of want. I mean, you don't have to buy crystals from a shop. You don't have to, you can use stones you find just out and about, and whatever association that where you found it, or you know, you can use that in your magical practices. Or if you find a stone that you just are drawn to, just a little piece of granite or whatever, and you charge that with a specific intent, it will hold that because you put that energy into it. And it's then magical, and you can use it, and it'll amplify, and it will help you with those practices and with that work. So, and yes, so use any stone, anything you want in your magical practice. That's perfectly fine. Now, I'm going to do day 23 ahead of time because I'm going to lose power tomorrow, and I want my phone fully charged, and I'm charging my camera right now. And so I'm going to get that done early. Oh my God, I'm early. And that is, it just said book. And the first thing I thought of was, some people call it a grimoire, book of shadows, whatever. But I think if you are new to witchcraft or to any kind of spiritual practice, what I think is important is, one, you need to learn to focus energy, for sure. I think that, I mean, people, you know, when they're new to something, they get all excited, and what do? They start gravitating towards, it's like, oh, I gotta have the tools, I have to have the tools. Well, I think the book, any book, is probably, and I'm talking like a journal, is probably one of the most important tools you'll have. And it should be like one of the first you get. And it can be anything from, you know, those composition books, or, you know, I don't like spiral notebooks. I think they're shit. I hate those fucking things. Why did I buy a bunch of them? I don't fucking know. They were like 20 cents, so I bought a bunch, and I hate them. And I don't use them. And I'm not too fond of the composition books, but I will use them. But you can find, you know, cute journals for like, you know, $5. I find them for $5 at my craft store or whatever. And that could be where you write down, you know, recipes that you're working on for oils or incenses, or any, you know, kind of feeling you get when you work with something, or when you've been out and about. If you've meditated, you know, what have you seen in those meditations? You know, keeping track of all that, that's what is important. And to start doing it from the beginning is, and I think that's something, it's like everybody, you know, wants to get the candles and the crystals we just talked about, herbs and all that kind of stuff. Well, how are you going to know? You know, you can look up an herb. Yeah, are you going to look it up every freaking time? You know, I get tired of, you know, trying to search on Google or whatever, or look at my, you know, my witchcraft books, or my, any of that shit. And, you know, I can write it down, and I can, you know, write down my feelings about it as well. And then it's meaningful to me, and that's my reference. What you do is you create a reference for yourself. And so I think, and this is why, you know, I decided to also do this a little early, is because we do use a lot of stones and crystals in our practice. But I think one of the most important things someone should get when they start this is some kind of journal, and start writing it down, and just keep track. And even if it's something that didn't work out, you have it as reference, and you can then change it and tweak it and do things differently. And maybe you didn't want that much of a certain herb in it, and you can, you know, you're writing it down, you're experimenting. It's all you, and it's going to be more meaningful to you, and you're going to know where something is because you wrote it down. And because you wrote it down, it's going to be more on your memory than, you know, you read it in a book. You know, you're going to be like, oh, what did they say? What did they say? And then you go back. I'm thinking the raccoons are going to be coming around the corner any second, and I'm sitting by the food dish. So, I mean, when you read something, yeah, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. But when you write it down, then it really does imprint on your memory. And then you were like, oh wait, I remember, and I have it, I know exactly where it was, and I use this and this and this. It's like, yes, that's what I used, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, and then if it did work, you can repeat it. And so, I mean, I'm going to be redoing my witch's ball. I'll probably be recording, doing a video of that, because, well, the power's going to be out, and I'm charging my video camera, so I'm probably going to make some videos, but I won't be able to upload them. But I wrote it down, so I remember. It's like, oh, well, this was my intention last year. What's my intention this year? Is it similar? Is it the same? And then I can look and see, do I want to add something different? Do I want to add the same things? And then I can recreate my witch's ball. I also made some cone incense, and it's working out okay. But it was my Samhain incense, and I wrote down what I used and why I used it. And so now I can go back and recreate it or tweak it and change, do it again and do what I want. And that's because I have a book that I wrote it all down in. And I have found that I wish someone had told me 20 something years ago, get a book to write all that shit down in. That's the most important thing. Fuck the cauldron, fuck the athame, fuck a wand. I mean, get a fucking book, write it all fucking down, because that book is going to be what's most important in your practice. So, those are my thoughts. I rambled, I swore, that's how I do it. And there's something in the bushes, and it's going to probably eat me. No, it's not going to eat me. Those raccoons love me. Anyway, I'm going to go. Hopefully I'll be able to see all you guys again in a couple days. I probably won't be using my phone much if the power does go out, because that's just how life is. And so, much love and blessings, and see you next time.